What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. We have Apple's new XS Max on the right here, as well as Samsung's new flagship, the Galaxy Note 9. Right off the bat, you can see the huge size difference between these two devices on the bottom edge right there. Also, these phones, if nothing else, are monstrous fingerprint magnets, as you can see already in the pictures. I do want to talk a little bit about these two devices. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I just want to show you guys what to expect if you do decide to pick up either of these two phones. And obviously, right off the bat, I'm behind the camera, the Face ID isn't going to work, but you can see just how monstrous these two displays really are. Obviously, you take your pick. iOS isn't for everybody, Android's not for everybody. I have to say, those of you guys that follow my channel, I prefer to hang on to an Android device usually, but I do like to have an Apple device as well. Having said that, after using basically a Samsung device exclusively almost for the last few months, going back to the iOS ecosystem and all that, I am not a fan of anymore. It is just so watered down as opposed to what you get now on something like a Note 9. Yes, you're getting a slightly larger screen here on the obviously on the XS Max. However, the 1/10 of an inch difference is neglectable. The Note 9 is much easier to hold in hand just because of those rounded corners. You can see just how much wider really the display here is on the XS Max. Just not the easiest to hold one-handedly. Not to say the Note 9 is not able to be used one-handed. It is very difficult as well. However, keep that in mind if you got smaller hands, or even if you have larger hands. MKBHD touched on this as well, saying that even though he has a larger hand, the XS Max is still very difficult to use one-handed. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Aside from that, the build qualities are obviously very similar. They're both glass metal slabs, and you can see just how gorgeous the devices are. Personally, to me, the Apple iPhone feels a little heavier. Both look phenomenal, though. Got your typical arrangement of buttons. The Apple phone is obviously a little more water resistant than it was last year. It is finally on par with the Note 9 with an IP68 water resistance. You are obviously getting your S Pen feature on the Note series, and this one, since they made it Bluetooth, is phenomenal. It is really the first stylus I've used on a Note in a long time, just because of how much more useful they made it, whether it's from snapping pictures or scrolling web pages. Super nice. Also, one very nice feature that I think goes understated is the always on display. I don't understand why Apple has not implemented an always on display at this point in time. It's ridiculous. They both have the same OLED technology. Samsung is still the primary OLED supplier of the iPhone. So really, at this point, it's just inexcusable. Obviously, Apple's doing it probably to preserve battery life, but I don't believe that is a good enough reasoning at this point to just ignore the feature. Having said that as well, branching off away from the phones, I will be uploading a video, if it's not live by this time, talking about their wearables as well, for those of you guys that like smartwatches. And I have to say, though, this is where Apple takes the cake. Their Apple Watch not only feels a lot better, but notifications and interactions is just a lot smoother on this than it is on my Galaxy Watch. These are both now the LTE models as well. No issues with that. Both speaker quality sound great, but just as far as daily interactions and speediness of the responses, as far as whether it be opening an app or even just texting or voice to texting a reply, it makes a big difference now. Having said that, guys, this is just a quick recap. I hope this helps you if you want to make a better decision if you're going to go for a Note 9 or Apple's new iPhone. They're both expensive phones. This obviously is starting at $1,000, the Note 9, and then this is starting at $1,100 for the new iPhone XS Max. Yes, there is the smaller version, but we're not touching on that today. We'll be doing another video later on. That is it, guys. Catch you in the next one. See ya.